I'm guessing by the title, you already know what this like live stream is going to be about, and I apologize that my room is an absolute mess behind me. I've been in the middle of like tidying up, so it is like totally and utterly completely cluttered and messy, and I've not had the opportunity to do it. I mean, I could have, started like cleaning it up, then going on a live stream, but like, why would I do that? So obviously the title of the video is "Are we turning into idiots?" And with a lot of questions going through my mind at the moment. Like I would look through Facebook and I would be like, is this seriously a thing? Are people like being generally this serious when it comes to life in general, and all these like life hacks you get, and just like this social justice warrior palaver, and you can't say anything. You can't say anything that is derogatory or disrespectful to anyone in case you get like basically a ton of social justice warriors just like ramming down your throat saying this is wrong, you can't do that, you can't say that, you're going to hell, you're just a bad person to say this. Not only that, you're you're getting like younger children just I don't get younger children now. They are like a level past what I know anymore. And lipstick, perfume, Amy, I don't care if I'm triggering you. Yeah, like I know with like this whole like new gender spectrum thing, like you can't assume anyone's like a boy or a girl anymore by how they're dressed, or you can't assume anyone's like gay or straight anymore. I know before it was I know if you do. I know it was like a big thing now. Like if someone is dressed in a particular way and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm I'm sorry, ma'am," or "I'm sorry, sir," or whatever. And they're like, "Excuse me, did you just assume my gender?" And you're like, "Well, yeah, because you look like a guy at this particular time. What else am I gonna do?" Or "You look like a girl at this particular time. So, what do you want me to do?" Just instead of like pushing it down my throat, saying, "No, you're in the wrong," then correct me. You don't like instantly assume that I am being disrespectful to your gender. When it was a simple mistake. I mean, you're taking it way too far. Like, political correctness wise is far too far in the moment. Like, there was an article on Facebook that I didn't read it because it annoyed me. Like, even the title annoyed me a little bit. And it was, do babies babies require consent to change their diapers? And I was thinking, are you being serious? Is this an actual thing going on now where you need to give consent to your baby to change their diaper? Like I can't even muster on how stupid that sounds. When a baby is born, it has no like mind of its own, and it has no motor skills or recollection of what's going on around itself in the world. So of course when the baby is pooed or weed, it needs to be changed despite if there's consent there or not, because the urine starts to sting and it will get incredibly like if you've ever shit yourself, then your pants are going to feel fucking horrible and you want to change and clean as soon as possible. And I can only imagine that's how a baby is going to feel. So I think when a baby is screaming and crying in like pain from the stinging urine and the crap-filled nappy, it's going to say, it's already telling you, "Mum, Dad, please change me. I'm in no position here. I am very uncomfortable." I think the crying is consent enough for you to think, yeah, I'm going to change the nappy because That does not look good, nor smell good, nor does it look good in the state. The fact you're getting sore from it, and I see young mothers now, and I know technology will progress during time. Like in the future, we will all be like 100% dependent on technology, where we can stay on the couch, like we can like stay in bed all day, like ordering food. You know, we order in food. You know, you can order in anything from the internet, literally like anything from the internet. And so we don't need to physically go outside anymore unless you actually want to travel like out of your own house. But there's no need to actually travel anywhere because you've got the internet and you've got your phone or laptop, tablet, whatever, to order anything you want off the internet. And I think that's becoming to the point where it's getting incredibly mind-numbing, if you know what I mean. Like, you can't tell me that the first thing you do when you wake up is pick up your phone, turn off the alarm or whatever, and then scroll through Facebook for, you know, half an hour before you actually get yourself out of bed, then making yourself late for work if you work. Or you look through Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat and, you know, like hashtag bedhead, hashtag morning, hashtag just woke up, hashtag woke like this. You know, social media is a thing that is basically taking over basic human instincts, and it's taking over like human basics, if you know like what I'm trying to say. Like, we depend on technology so much. I can't sit here and say that I don't do it as well, because I get I wake up, I switch on my phone, or stop my alarm, and then look through Facebook for 10 minutes and then get out of bed, because, you know, you think, you know, if there's anything going on in the world of wherever, the world of internet land, and, you know, look for anything, you know, something interesting, you know, juicy bit of gossip to talk about with your work friends and so on. I mean, but then, like, when kids are grown up, but kids have only grown up now in this sort of generation and lower, with just the phones in the face constantly. Like, their face, like, my phone is dead right now. But like, everywhere you look, if you go into like your streets, and you're in town shopping or whatever, despite the fact that you can just sit in bed and just do it on your phone, so what's the point of even going out in the first place? So you will see this constantly, just looking down like a mindless moron. Like, you bump into people in the streets and half of them don't even turn around because they're like, you know, and taking like selfies like everywhere we go. And I like I've just said, I'm not trying to sound hypocritical, because I do like take a lot of selfies, and I'm on my phone a lot, but I'm trying to cut down on that, and cutting down on my phone use. So when I'm out in public meeting friends or going shopping, I look around me and I see an astonishing amount of young and old people just like brain dead on their phones, and I'm thinking to myself, society will be lost completely, like 100% lost. Like, no one will talk to each other, like, no one will acknowledge one another. We've all got our headphones in because we don't want to talk to each other. We don't want to say hi to our neighbours. We don't want to say hi to random strangers in the street anymore because we're all too focused on our phones. And I think that's sad for the younger generation, because they won't know running around in mud, getting breaks on the knees, playing ball outside and, you know, things like that. They won't know that because why do they play on their phones? I mean, why do they play outside when they can play on their phones? And young mothers and young parents, the child screaming, I want this, I want to do that, I want to do whatever I want to do, wah. And the only thing the mother can think of, or the parent that can think of to do to calm that child down, to get them out of the way for a bit, is to put a screen in front of their eyeballs. They are dependent on just looking at a screen and looking and watching these pixels on a screen. That is going to be our future generation. The people who will be president and doctors and people of important jobs and stuff, they are grown up with computers and screens right here in their faces. They won't know how to interact with other people because they're forever on their phones. Like, how do you expect a nurse or a doctor or a surgeon or anyone like that to know any social skills when their social skills are literally on their phones? You can't expect society to grow and become a better society when nobody talks to each other unless it's, you know, hashtags on the phones. Now, I understand that it's easier to get an email than to send a letter because it's instant and it's quick. But the thing is, like, we do that and we get more excited when we find a home written letter than we do an email now. It's like I get excited when the post comes because it's something that I don't get over the internet. It's something that doesn't pop up in my inbox or something. It's something that's actually physically come to my house. Now, and I find that exciting because it's like something that's not, you know, been sent to me on an email or a text or something. And I think with how we're going, that future generations will be so mind-numbingly stupid when it comes to real social conventions that we'll all just be dependent on our phones and laptops and stuff. And with the influence of social media, we make up such bullshit on what we expect from real society when we bump into, like you have like long ass rants on Facebook saying, like, don't assume my gender, don't assume this about me, don't assume this about me. But like, how can anyone do that anyway when literally no one talks to each other? Like, I get that sex and gender are apparently two different things. Like, you could feel more masculine and feminine on one day and, you know, like something on the next. And I know, like, your sex is like you're born male or female, but the problem is, to me, is how mind-numbing it's becoming, and how I see it constantly. Like, if you go on Tumblr, it's like, you know, gender neutral and stuff, and it's like, make everything gender neutral, make everything, you know, neutral for everyone. But like, what happened to just unisex, where it was literally unisex, like for any sex? Like, what happened now? You know, like, nothing was like gender specific. And like this new show on TV, I don't know if you've got it in America as well, but in England we've got this TV show called Genderquake, and I'm thinking, why is there a show about people who identify as different genders, like, living in one place? Personally, as an individual, I do not give a damn. I don't care what you identify as. I don't want that on TV ramming down my throat constantly, 24/7. I don't want to turn on the TV, and when I turn on the TV, and then, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say anything like that, you can't say anything derogatory or disrespectful to anyone. I don't want to have that pushed down my throat. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care what you identify as long as you don't push it down my throat. I don't care. I will respect you as much as you respect me. And that's how I think everyone should be. We should just all respect each other, despite what we believe or despite how we identify as a person. I don't get why it has to go on and on and on. And I think in the future, if this sort of like political correctness, social justice thing carries on, then we'll end up being like with no society at all. Like everything would be lost. You would have literally would literally just be like nothing, because we would so be drawn into what we think is right and what we think is wrong. And like I don't know if you and hello, I don't know if you know about this story on Facebook. It was a young girl. She must have been like 2 or 3. She was naked and she was sat in her father's lap, and he was also naked. Now there was a big like blow up on the internet about it. Like people thought it was disgusting and disgraceful, and you know that shouldn't happen. Like little girls on the dad's lap, and that's disgusting. Why would you ever do? But then, how I saw it was a father and daughter bonding. Political correctness has made that into something barbaric and into something that it's not, and twisted it and contorted it into something that would be looked upon as disgusting when it's not. Like people, I can't imagine that I can imagine that in the future that there would probably be something on Facebook or whatever social media platform saying that it's disgusting for a father to change the daughter's nappy, or so on and so forth. And I think that if society becomes like that, then we're all doomed, because political correctness has taken up too much of our time, and it's something that needs to be like very much calmed down. Like, I don't know if you guys know of this film called Idiosyncrasy, and I've said this for some time now, and I will continue to say it. I honestly, truly believe that this world will turn out like Idiosyncrasy, to the point where everyone is so dependent on like technology, and people won't know how to water plants, for goodness sake. It will turn out like this if we don't stop the social media, or we actually like communicate and we actually talk to each other about literally anything other than our phones. And it's just stupid how political correctness and social justice have kaboomed everywhere on the internet, making it impossible for anyone to speak the mind about anything. Like, there was one thing I was going to mention, but has gone completely out of mind. And I was going to mention it because I thought it was so silly. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was, but it was just something that I thought to myself, if this sort of stuff carries on, then what hope is there for the future? But until I remember what that thing was, then the only thing I can think of is what annoyed me is yesterday I was in a bit of a funny mood. My grandmother was making a barbecue, and my partner was picking up another friend of mine to take him and his partner to the barbecue as well. And it took about an hour to get there, and then for him to get ready as well, and then to come back. And as soon as we come back, it was 4:00, and I saw a load of dirty dishes, and it wasn't a barbecue like I thought it would be a barbecue. It was like basically a barbecue spread on the table. And instantly I thought, okay, not sure what's going on. But I entered the living room. Excuse me. And I looked, and instantly my heart fell, because I looked into the living room, and what I saw was so antisocial, in my opinion. It put me in a really bad mood. There was everybody in the living rooms. That was it. When you walk into a place that was meant to have a barbecue in, you don't want to sit and see this. You want to see people actually talking to each other and talking and just generally bonding. And I said to my family in the living room, I thought this was meant to be a barbecue where we sat outside and actually communicated like a family. And apparently they already had been, and then I was like, so you literally took 1 hour out of your day to sit in the garden and talk to each other, and then you spent the rest of it in the living room on your phones and laptops. And they all turned to me and said that I'm always on my phone and laptops, when they were doing exactly that whilst it's meant to be a barbecue. And it annoyed me. So I walked into the garden. My mother was sat down, and I said to her, I thought this was meant to be a barbecue where everyone was sat down and talking to each other like normal and not being on the phone. And I was then put in a really bad mood, because it was just something that I found astounding and astonishing, that the only source of society now is to be looking down on your phones and your laptops. No one speaks to each other anymore. And it's getting to the point where we don't need to speak to each other, because when for directions, you look on Google Maps. To talk to someone, you look on your inbox. To take pictures, you don't use like one of them big, the disposable cameras that you would hold a friend close and take this picture with this camera anymore. It's literally just, you don't have time to talk to each other. And I see mothers spend more time on their fucking phone than they do with their children. Their child, 2-3 years old, and their mother. It's like it's non-stop. It's literally that. And that's what society is now, and that's what it will grow into. Yeah, that's a good point. What I don't understand, like Amy has just said, that people get anxious if asked to voice chat versus text. But you have a voice for a reason. And I am not good with phones. Like, I would, when I'm phoning up the doctor or like an appointment for something, I will stutter and I will stumble and I'll make a complete cock of myself. But I will continue to keep using my voice on the phone, making these important appointments, and I eventually learned that I was getting better with the more I put down my phone and started talking more, because I learned that it doesn't matter if you stumble on a phone call or something, because they're human too. They make mistakes. You make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. We need to learn more. We need to learn how to talk to each other again. We shouldn't be trying to learn to talk to each other again when we're taught how to learn as a baby, but that's not going to happen anymore, because as a mother, I've seen plenty of mothers stick a phone in front of their baby's face to teach them how to talk, with videos of the ABC videos and like children's entertainment videos. I've seen a lot of mothers and parents who don't actually interact with their babies anymore, because it's so much easier to put a camera or a phone or whatever in their faces. And I think that's where we're going wrong, and I think that's where we will become the film Idiosyncrasy. And that's where we're turning. That's where we're literally turning into idiots. We are turning into idiots because of technology. We don't talk to each other anymore. That's it.